The Diplomat is a new high-stakes political drama from a writer-producer of West Wing and Homeland, Deborah Kahn. The series stars Kerry Russell as a seasoned U.S. ambassador on her way to a post in Afghanistan when she is abruptly appointed as the ambassador of the United Kingdom. While handling the most coveted and decorated diplomatic role, she is navigating her own marriage to a star ambassador, Hal Weiler, played by Rufus Sewell. Watch The Diplomat now, only on Netflix.
Today on City Cast Pittsburgh, the buzzkill first. Recreational cannabis is still illegal in Pennsylvania. Womp womp. But it's 420, so if you do imbibe however you acquired it, we're here to offer you some fun local spots to mark the day. It's Thursday, April 20th. Duh. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm here with producer Mallory Falk. Hello.
Hello.
And newsletter editor Francesca DeBecco.
Hey, guys.
Hey. So medical use is legal here. I know y'all know that. And there are gobs of physicians and dispensaries in our area who can help folks navigate that system if you think you're going to benefit from it. But if you want to learn about the latest push for recreational legalization, we'll also have a link in our show notes to our interview with Ed Mahone from Spotlight, PA. It was so good.
Yeah, but today is 420, Cannabis Day, and we all know some Pennsylvanians will be observing the holiday regardless.
Of course. And whether you're partaking or not, who doesn't love a good munchie now and then?
Yeah, you don't need to be high to enjoy the best snacks and sweets and comfort food our city has to offer.
Certainly not.
Exactly. And look, we also know that those emergency bags of frozen tater tots and pizza rolls are probably everyone's best call. But if you are up for venturing out, we wanted to offer you some of our favorite Pittsburgh munchie options.
Yeah, and we're going to set some ground rules too. So all of these spots have to be relatively accessible while you're under the influence.
Perfect.
They need to have chill vibes. You don't want to go down a paranoia spiral when you're there.
No
All about the vibes.
And also, this should be stuff that you can take home and that's just as delicious as leftovers.
Yes. So we'll start with our first category here, wake and bake.
You guys know I'm a breakfast sandwich junkie. I've slowly been creating my list of best breakfast sandwiches in the Burgh. And one of my favorites in the city is back at it for the season, the Time Machine in Bloomfield. Have you guys been?
I haven't, but I feel like I have because you talk about it in the newsletter pretty frequently.
It's almost like you can taste it through the pictures. It's posted up outside of the former Bitter Ends. And guys, I can't truly say enough about these sandwiches. Chef Ryan Shavara serves them on homemade biscuits, and he's set up with a griddle outside, so good vibes. Ooh. Outdoors. You can just take in the sunshine. And meat eaters, you have to try the Lordy Lordy Look at Morty with fried mortadella. It's like their legacy sandwich, so it's been on the menu since the beginning. I typically go with the classic egg and cheese, but sometimes he has other veg options on the menu like broccolini or mushrooms. I don't really wake and bake, but I feel like this is exactly what I would want.
Nice.
Oh, and you can get sweets there too. Don't sleep on their fresh baked goods by Lydia Wires. She is formerly of B52 and Apteca and Reed & Co.
Long list.
Yeah.
So to me, nothing quite hits the spot like a breakfast burrito.
Ooh.
I'm still on the hunt to find the perfect breakfast burrito in Pittsburgh. Taking suggestions from our listeners if you've got any. I got very spoiled living in El Paso. Nothing here quite lives up to what I ate there.
Yes, please send in suggestions.
Yes, Pittsburgh at citycast.fm. But I do enjoy the breakfast burrito at El Burro. It's filled with eggs, cheese, and what else? Fries. Got to get that Pittsburgh flavor in there. And you can add chorizo, bacon, or there's also vegan chorizo, which is really good. That's one of the things I appreciate about El Burro is it's got a lot of good vegan options. They also have all different salsa options, so you can kind of just smother that bad boy as much as you want. If you're not feeling the breakfast burrito, they've got this great chili relleno burrito on the menu. And then another nice breakfasty option is the potato tacos.
And Mallory, they have 2 locations. I know one on the north side.
Yeah, there's one on the north
forever.
side. I actually haven't been to that one. I've gone to the one in Regent Square. And that one has this really nice back patio, which I think fits with our chill vibes requirement. It's a really nice shaded spot to sit. The only thing is El Burro doesn't open until 11. So if you're waking and baking at like 7 in the morning, this might not work for you. But if you can hold off until a little later, this is a great spot.
Let's be honest. Who waking and baking is doing it at 7 a.m.? I mean, maybe, but
it is not for us to judge. This one is a recommendation for folks waiting for this weekend to celebrate. But I love 350 Bakery in Allentown. They've got your savories, they've got your sweets. They do a biscuit sandwich, Francesca, that I feel like you would adore. And they are starting to play with veggie options, I hear. So they do different combos of cured meats, pepper jellies, hot honey, cheeses, all topped with this classic flaky biscuit, or my favorite, they have an everything biscuit that's piled high with seasonings. I didn't think anything could replace the country ham in my mind, but their white barbecue brisket Sammy is what meat eater dreams are made of. It's so good. They also have sweets like homemade Puff Tarts. They have big, perfect brownies. I really love the salted caramel one. Cupcakes, all kinds of bars. The menu is just huge. So you can find them 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays.
Yum. I gotta say, guys, I'm surprised nobody said Pamela's, although then I thought about it and maybe the vibes aren't the best.
That's
always
so
packed.
I initially was going to recommend get like your big order of chocolate chip banana pancakes at the Millvale location is my favorite, but it's so jammed with people. I feel like that's not really the vibe you're looking for.
Waiting in line that early in those conditions, maybe not. Save that for
But
another day.
if you're not partaking in 420 but are just looking for a nice breakfast today, check out Pamela's.
Okay, moving on to comfort food. Mallory, when you need something extra comforting, what are you going for?
So I feel like you can never go wrong with pizza. But
True.
In this case, it should be a little extra. So my go-to would be the Buffalo Seitan pizza at Spack Bros in Bloomfield.
You love that one.
I love that one so much. That fueled our election night coverage here at City Cast.
True.
If you're not a vegetarian, there's also a buffalo chicken option. It comes with a side of ranch, of course, and it's so good. Like normally, I don't really like to load my pizza up with a bunch of crap like imitation meat. But in this case, it really hits the spot. And then, they've also got pickle pizza if that's your jam. Their seitan wings are pretty decent. There's just like a lot to choose from when the cravings hit. And because Spack only does takeout, this is like the perfect choice if you just want a nice mellow experience at home if you're trying to avoid the crowds altogether.
Yeah, take it anywhere. So for my comfort food, noodles are always they're always the comfort food. So I'm going to recommend one of my go-to dishes, which is the spicy peanut noodles from Yuzu Kitchen in downtown. You guys know it because we've eaten it together. But you
really turned me on to their spicy peanut noodles.
You can get it with chicken or more vegetables or tofu, and it just hits the spot every time with a little squeeze of lime on top. It just perfectly balances the savoriness. And in case you can't make it downtown, my other recommendation would be for Smiling Banana Leaf in Highland Park. Everything on the menu is great, but I always go with the pad thai because it's one of the few places in the city where I can find it totally vegan, so they don't use fish sauce in it. And yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with a bowl of noodles. And both of those are great takeout options, honestly. Like, and they're great leftovers too.
And Smiling Banana Leaf, I know, has really nice like picnic benches set up outside if you want to eat there, which is great for, if we're blessed with beautiful weather. Perfect vibes.
How about you, Megan?
Yeah, mine is more the call in for takeout, and it still tastes good when you get home. The Urban Tap Burger in Southside. They have shoestring fries, this great pickle, like texturally. It's just everything you want in an amazing, comforting cheeseburger situation. And if you're in it for the veggies, they also have fried Brussels that you can get with or without bacon. They taste amazing. And General Tso's cauliflower, which is one of my all-time favorite things on their menu.
Yum.
There's also one in Shadyside. So maybe if Southside isn't quite what you're going for to celebrate your 420, you've got another location to choose from too.
Okay, next up, sips and snacks. So, the little stuff that you can munch on throughout the day. Francesca, what do you think?
Well, I have two, one sweet and one salty. The sweet option, I got to shout out Leona's ice cream sandwiches. There's so many flavors. And if you really want a Pittsburgh munchie experience, definitely go for the strawberry pretzel salad cookie.
That one is so good.
Yeah. Another one of my favorite for springtime is the rhubarb on a brown sugar shortbread. But the best part about Leona's is that every belly can enjoy these. They're totally lactose free. So not dairy free, but lactose free. You can get them at a bunch of places around town, but I've seen them at Commonplace Coffee, Mayfly Market on the north side, Love Pittsburgh Shops, White Whale Bookstore, East End Food Co-op. Anyways, head to their site to find all of their locations. It's just so delicious.
Giant Eagle carries them now too, actually. I got a bunch there the other day at my local.
Perfect. So yeah, super accessible. It's all over town. It's a really great option. It's great to take home and stick in the freezer and, munch on later. And then this place I just learned about, it is a munchie.
Of course you got a second one.
Yeah. It is a munchie heaven. Have you guys heard of the Vendor Bender in Squirrel Hill?
Heard of it. Never been.
No, I think it's relatively new, but it's a totally self-service vending machine shop with all sorts of international snacks. So like chocolate, candies, chips, beverages, and all those like really hard to find unique flavors. I feel like that would just be like an event for somebody celebrating 420.
I feel like that might be a little overwhelming.
Maybe, but yeah, a lot of options. But again, maybe you go before and pick out your
Good for
goodies.
Loading up for later. I like that.
Stop. Yeah.
Mine are both ice cream. So Page's Dairy Mart on South Side. I don't know why I'm like a South Side stan lately. I apologize. I promise I'll branch out. But they're a classic here in Pittsburgh. They reopened in March for the season. So for at least now until, the sun is nigh, you've got a chance to get out there and get like a million interesting, different, and totally classic flavors from ice creams all over the city. And then if you want something that's not, down by a river, under a bridge, sort of out of the way, Milkshake Factory is a local business. They've got locations all over the place and in the burbs. They're open till midnight, so you can really get your craving on pretty late in the day. I always order off menu. I like a full banana with chocolate ice cream turned into a milkshake. It's delicious.
Ooh.
Good ideas with
great.
those timings. Yeah, that's great, Rec.
Yeah. So I'm going to go in a slightly different direction with my recommendation. Sadly, it might be a little too late for this today, but something to keep in mind for next year or really any other time you have the munchies. What's better when the craving strikes than warm, fresh, homemade cookies? I'd like to recommend a local cookbook. It's called the Belt Cookie Table Cookbook, and it's just chock full of Rust Belt cookie recipes from all over the region, all the cookies that you could find on a cookie table at a wedding.
I love this.
I got this book as a gift a few years ago, and it has been so fun to bake my way through it. Some of my favorites in there are the lemon lavender love cookies, the soft molasses cookies, and then the 7-layer bars are out of this world. They've become my go-to whenever I want to bake something for a friend. Belt Publishing, which puts out the cookbook, is this really great Rust Belt publishing house, so you can feel good supporting them. If you're the kind of person who, enjoys baking under the influence, this is great for you, or you can make them ahead of time and just have these incredible cookies waiting for you if you're, the kind of person who wants a nice sweet treat.
Or if your love language is delivering to others. That's great.
Yeah. I love that you built in like a true activity with this. That's lovely.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes maybe we're not quite capable of elaborate baking, but for those who are, this is your time to shine.
Well, and let's round out our day with some places you can go after hours, maybe. Where are some late night eats? Francesca, your favorites?
Yes. So I haven't been here in forever, but I know for a fact that they're one of the places that are open the latest in Pittsburgh. It's Fiore's Pizzeria in Brookline. It's still slinging pies up until 1 a.m. I have core memories of my family and I stopping here on the way home after seeing my grandparents in Beachview, like especially if my dad drank some wine with his buddies. Like we were all kind of needing something when we're heading home. So not to air you out, Dad, sorry. But it was always, a great option later at night. And they're kind of a Pittsburgh classic. So can't go wrong with some pizza.
Mine actually has to do with late nights after kickball games. Definitely got down with some PSL in my day. We would go up to, depending on where the game was, of course, Bigham Tavern in Mount Washington. The wings are excellent. They have a ton of different flavors of mac and cheese, and the salads are so good.
I've heard about that mac and cheese.
It's excellent. And then a second one, Dive Bar and Grill. Same story, just a bunch of locations. Lawrenceville will always have my heart. But their grilled portobello has this balsamic reduction on it and roasted red peppers. It is so good.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh. So I had trouble with this category because Pittsburgh is pretty lacking in late night spots. R.I.P. Dirty O would have been my go-to if it still existed. The best I could come up with were a couple places that are open until 11, which I don't know, I guess for Pittsburgh counts as late.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, maybe not for other major
Take
cities.
what you can get.
Exactly. So one is a classic, Kelly's in East Liberty. The kitchen is open until 11 for most of the week, but until midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. The bar is open later, obviously. But they've got some amazing mac and cheese, which is the ultimate munchie. It does take 20 minutes to bake, which is how you know it's good. But so, don't roll up at 10:50 and put in your order. Give yourself some time. And then if it's late at night and you're craving something sweet, you didn't have the foresight to bake a bunch of cookies the day before. Butterwood Bake Consortium is actually open until 11 as well. It's
what?
Which blew my mind when I discovered this. For those who don't know, it's this incredible dessert cafe on Butler Street. I'm pretty sure we've recommended it on the show before.
We have Valentine's Day.
I'm utterly shocked.
Possibly our best baked goods of Pittsburgh episode. So open till 11, so you can roll up and get a slice of cake or pie. There are lots of other delicious treats like browned butter blondies, tea cakes. I haven't tried this yet, but there's a rosemary blood orange bread, which sounds divine. If you're craving something sweet, Butterwood Bake Consortium has you covered until 11.
Well, so I feel like we've done our level best to put everyone into, an insulin resistance situation. If you need somewhere to maybe walk off some of those delicious goodies, if the mood strikes, is there anywhere that y'all would recommend, taking a stroll either with or without some of these beverages or snacks that we've recommended?
That's a great idea, Megan. Good thinking. I'd have to say Riverview Park. It's near me. Of course, it's, most convenient, but it is just so lovely there. There's so many trails, but you can also just bring a blanket and lay on the hills by the observatory. I don't know if you'll see stars because of our light pollution and clouds and all of that, but, you can try. So that sounds like a dreamy experience.
Well, and I'm going to pick what's convenient to me, but I feel like you can't go wrong with a nice stroll around the Highland Park Reservoir. Got this nice built-in walking trail there, but then there's also a beautiful park. There's a new art installation there, as we discussed in last week's newscast, that you can go check out. It's some yellow fence-like structure you can climb on, so that could be cool to check out when you're under the influence. Yeah, actually, I don't want to get anybody hurt. But yeah, Highland Park and the Reservoir would be my recommendation.
Where are you going, Megan?
Yeah, and mine is not convenient at all, but I love it in any weather and under any circumstance. The walk along a North Shore.
Yep.
Across the bridge, down to the point, if you're feeling really ambitious. Just everything about our walking paths there. The people watching, the way you can catch the sunset, the fountain now that it's back on. The ambiances just can't be beat. Well, Mallory, Francesca, thank you so much. Happy 420.
Happy 420.
Yeah, happy 420 to those who celebrate.
And here's producer Mallory Falk with a little more news.
Thanks, Megan. If our roundup of the best Munchies isn't enough for you, or you want something a little more eventful, then mark your calendar for the Pennsylvania Maple Festival. It kicks off this weekend in Myersdale and includes everything from pancakes and a quilt show to horse pulling and live entertainment. You can find out more at pamaplefestival.com. And if you want to dive even deeper into all things maple syrup, check out last month's episode with maple expert Scott Weichart. We'll drop a link in the show notes. And in less happy news, Pittsburgh's been ranked one of the worst places in the nation for air quality. That's according to a new report from the American Lung Association. The data was collected between 2019 and 2021, and the Allegheny County Health Department says the region's made progress on air quality since then. We'll put a link to the full report and the TRIB's breakdown in our show notes, so you can read all the dirty details for yourself.
That's all for today here on City Cast Pittsburgh. If you try anything we recommended, we hope you'll let us know. You can email us, pittsburgh@citycast.fm. Francesca would love to feature your photos in the newsletter. You can rate us, you can give us a review. We'd love it. And please subscribe to that Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to y'all soon.
Sorry, guys. Don't mean to overcomplicate the literally simplest thing.
I like that you managed to make it awkward right at the end. Like, that feels right for the day, you know?
I know.